You gotta reduce your stress and manage your stress. I know it's a lot going on in the country right now, and I want to just talk about what you can do and how you can help yourself. Because right now, everyone's nervous, anxious, and like, you just feel like you don't have a grasp, like a hold on, like, you know, what's going on. And a lot of times, when things like what's happening happens, we forget that we control us. So what I want to talk about is like what you can do to help you, to help yourself. Because if you can't help yourself during these times, you can't help anyone else. You can't be of use to anyone else if like your emotions and everything is like just all over the place. You hear me? Like a lot of times we get so caught up in like uh how we feel, and we get so sunk into like just feeling down and anxious and depressed that like we become not really helpful to the people around us. So what I want to talk about is like what you can do to reduce your stress, and the first thing is going to be you got to control your breathing. So I will encourage you, at any time where you feel like it's just too much, things is just too much for you, take a moment and get off social media first and foremost. Turn off the TV, turn off the news or whatever it is you're watching, and take a moment and breathe. I don't care where you are, if you're in your car, if you're at home, if you're out in public, go to the bathroom. You hear me? Go to the restroom, take a moment and take some deep breaths. A quick meditation just to get your emotions and that anxiety under control. Just deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Do that a few times. And once you feel yourself kind of relaxed, you know what I'm saying? Just start to like, tell yourself that it's gonna be okay. But you gotta find time throughout the day whenever you feel like that, to just like, you know, to breathe. Cause oftentimes it's almost like when you constantly seeing all of the negativity in the media, it's like you holding your breath because you like, what's going to happen next? Like, everything is so bad, it's going to get worse. So you literally holding your breath. You have to breathe, meditate. Don't be afraid to just walk off and like be like, look, it's too much. Don't be afraid to get off social media. It's cool to be aware. You need to know what's going on. But anytime that it feels like it's just too much, it's okay to like turn it off and take a break. Sometimes we overwhelm ourselves because like it's constantly news article after news article and breaking news after breaking news, and this didn't happen and that didn't happen. And ultimately we lose ourselves and stress ourselves out. So you gotta take care of you and take care of that. The next thing is, I want you to get a journal. Like I want you to write your feelings about everything that's been happening in the country recently. Like right now, social media isn't really a safe space. With all of the censorship going on across the apps and stuff, it is best that you get a journal and you just write. Write how you feel, the anger that you may be harboring, like your raw, true, and honest emotions that only you have access to. Because they can censor you online, they can't censor what's in your notebook. If you go to social media and try to express how you feel in search of like community and people to kind of help you with that, that's a losing battle because you don't control and own those platforms. So I would encourage you to start journaling. That way, when you do get back on social media, you can just kind of interact with other people and see what they got going on. But as far as your thoughts and your emotions, and I know you can be like, oh, but it's my social media. No, it's not. You are just taking up space. You basically renting space. They can cut you off, delete your videos, delete your comments at any time. Get a journal. When you feel like you want to make a video about how angry you are towards a certain person, or persons, and certain communities, and how things are going, think twice, because what you don't want to do is put yourself or your family in a bad position. You don't want to get on there just saying stuff that'll lead you to getting in serious trouble. And I'm not saying to be afraid or anything like that. I'm just saying to be mindful. The goal is to protect you and your family. And you can't do that if you get yourself into some trouble that you can't get out. That's why it's important to take a journal, and it's something you leave at home. I wouldn't recommend taking it with you anywhere. It's only to be held at your house, somewhat safe that only you know where it is, that you just write and get your thoughts out, man. And that's not to say just write the bad stuff that's going on, or write about, the negative. Write the good stuff too. Journal the good things that are happening in your life. Journal the things that are positive. The next thing I want to encourage you to do to reduce your stress, something that you can do, is just be mindful. Be mindful, and try to have gratitude and be grateful for the things around you, the things that you have, the people around you. If you have a good support system, a loving family, you have a roof over your head at the current time. You have access to clean drinking water, food. Your health is pretty good. Like, be grateful for those things. Don't take those things for granted, especially in these unprecedented times. Like, you know, appreciate them, love those things, love those people, love on those people. Like, right now is a really good time to have community. And it's hard because a lot of us, including myself, I've lost a part of my community due to this last election. And it is what it is. Like, I've made peace with it. I moved on, and I'm growing, branching out, and in search of like a better community. And I encourage you to do the same. Like, find your tribe. Find those people that are like minded. I'm not saying people that's gonna like agree with you on every single thing, but people who have the same values and morals as you, and love on those people. You know, like, if you have reliable transportation, if you have a job right now, like, be grateful for that. If you can sit down and just, like, enjoy the company of your loved ones and families, it's okay to be grateful and show gratitude towards those things. You know, the next thing I would encourage you to do is to get outside. Be safe, but get outside, even if it's just in your the comfort of your own yard. Maybe you just go sit in the garage, go sit in the driveway, soak up some sun. You know, don't become a recluse. Get outside and breathe in some fresh air. I think that it would do you some good. Like, what you don't want to do is just get to a point where, like, you start cutting off the world. And by all means, protect yourself. Because you don't know who's who anymore. You don't want to surround yourself with, like, bad people, but you have to get out. Like, maybe just sit outside, listen to some music. Maybe instead of like reading that book in a corner in your room, maybe you go sit outside in the grass, get you a blanket and put on the grass, and, like, you know, read your book outside for a little bit. Get your bottle of water, maybe a little snack or two. Make sure you bundle up. It's a little chilly, a little cold outside right now. But, I think a change of scenery in that aspect would do you some good. Would definitely do you some good. Another thing that you can do um is literally to show a little active resistance and to reduce your stress, is to read. Get involved with activities, find you something to do. And that's not necessarily saying like you have to go, join a club or anything, but just find something to do. Garden. Excuse me. You know, maybe get involved in gardening. Start growing you some plants. Maybe start growing, some flowers. I don't know what you like, roses, anything like that. But find peace and solace in that. Like maybe it is reading. Maybe it's writing. Maybe your thing is like, hey, I'm gonna write a book, or I'm gonna write a blog, article, and I'm gonna publish one article a week, an article a day, to kind of cleanse your spirit and to let out certain things. Now is a good time for that type of stuff. Maybe you go outside and do your exercise. You hear me? Like maybe you, instead of doing your exercise inside at the house or going to the gym, maybe you're like, you know what, I'm gonna take it outside today. I'm gonna get my vitamin D, and I'm gonna get outside. I'm gonna get my exercise. I'm gonna get my sweat on. You hear me? And I'm gonna get the stress down. I'm gonna keep the stress low. But find you an activity that you can do, something that you're gonna enjoy. Maybe painting, drawing, anything like that. Anything that would provide you with a sense of fulfillment. I encourage you to do that, and don't lose that. Those things, those activities, those things that you find some joy in, is going to carry you over these next few years. But you have to manage and keep your stress down, because you need you, but also other people are going to be dependent on you, especially if you're someone who have kids, you have elderly parents or grandparents. They're going to need you during this difficult time that we're moving in. But you're no good to no one else if you're not good to yourself. So again, I encourage you to like take care of yourself. Make sure you eating a balanced diet. Like now is not the time to like just be out here eating crazy and being ridiculous and like not caring about what you're putting in your mouth. Like seriously, like we don't know what's gonna happen with our medical moving forward. So it's a good time to literally like just start taking care of yourself in every aspect. Mentally, physically, spiritually, um, environmentally. Like it's a good time to like start tapping into and taking care of those things, especially if you're somebody that's been putting that stuff off for a while. Right now it's no better time to really dive into that, and to really like sink your teeth and your claws into like really just getting it out the mud and locking in. But find those things that bring you joys, and do those things. The next thing, I want to go back to community. Get to know your neighbors. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have a pretty good relationship with a couple of my neighbors, and I'm grateful for it. And this ties back into community, because you're gonna need to. You may have to like rely on them in these coming times and years. But it helps to reduce that stress and keep some of that stress under control when like, hey, look, I know my neighbor got me. I know I got them. They got me. You hear me? So like, don't be afraid to socialize a little bit with the people around you as far as in your neighborhood. And that's not saying to trust everybody, but excuse me. Um, the next thing I would encourage you to do, I would say like just don't lose hope. And I know like that's tough, and that's a lot for me to ask of you, and for anybody to like listen to, because you're like, man, what you mean? Like it's bad. And it is. It is. However, like you have to hold on to something. You have to be like, you know what? You know, it'll get better. What, and ask yourself, what can I do to make it better for me and the people that I love? Maybe that looks like getting together with your family and your loved ones and having a Sunday dinner, a Saturday get together, a little bit more frequent than you used to. Surrounding yourself by people that you love and people that love you. You know, getting back together with loved ones and like actually sitting down having those Sunday dinners. You know what I mean? Like being around people. That way you and your family can break bread. Y'all can talk about stuff that's offline. You don't have to engage with putting all your business in the streets. Like you and your family just break bread together. But I want you to reduce and manage your stress because stress can take you out. I'm not going to say the word read between the lines. Stress can take you out. Stress can cause a plethora of health issues for everybody. And that's not what we want. I'm not saying that you're not going to feel anxious. I'm not saying that you're not going to be angry. I'm not saying that you're not um going to feel some type of way. But what I'm saying is don't stay there too long because the longer you hold on to it, the more it harms you and the more it breaks you down. Feel those emotions, process all those emotions. Allow yourself maybe anywhere from 12 to 24 hours and then get back into it. You know, get back into life and and start to make the necessary moves and things and do the things that you need to do. But you don't want to let stress consume you and overwhelm you. All right. So, meditation and breathing exercises, journaling, exercising, getting outside, you know, and getting some sun and things like that. Uh, Community, breaking bread with your family and your loved ones, and find the things that bring you joy and hold on to those things. And when all else fails, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And that's all I got for you today. So thank you for tuning in to another episode of a Quick Little Word Podcast. It's your boy Chris Wright. Be sure to check the description for all of the links to the merch, the book, the audio. And until next time, peace, love, and happiness.